Most of us are conditioned to look at an empty house and see a vacuum. We assume that a space built for one is inherently waiting to be filled, and that living alone is simply a synonym for being lonely. Mr. Elias wakes up before his alarm. He is entirely at ease, moving through the soft morning light at his own pace. It raises an interesting question. When you remove the rush of a commute, the demands of a schedule, and the eyes of an audience, what actually tethers you to the day? In this house, silence is the primary atmosphere. For Elias, this quiet is a resource, an open space where he can decide exactly how to exist without needing to react to anyone else. He treats his home as a landscape of choice. It is proof that intentional solitude can be a state of peace, rather than a feeling of being forgotten. Without external urgency forcing his hand, his morning routine operates on a completely different rhythm. Every single action becomes a deliberate, thoughtful choice. He prepares his single cup of coffee with exacting precision, taking the time to measure the grounds and pour the water exactly the way he prefers it. He engages with his home with intention, treating every corner of the physical space as a place where life is actively happening. He greets his houseplants out loud, gently checking their leaves and noting how much they've grown. It's a simple method of keeping his immediate environment responsive. If you watched him from the outside, you might be tempted to call this behavior eccentric, or even see it as a little strange. But he is practicing a specific type of joy that requires no witness to feel real. The line between a daily chore and spontaneous play dissolves the moment he drops the needle onto an old jazz record. He picks up a broom and begins to waltz across the living room floor, laughing at his own footwork. No audience on the couch, no cameras recording the moment, and no digital applause waiting. By committing to the performance for himself, he finds validation that is entirely internal. Cultivating this kind of satisfaction makes the absence of other people feel less like a deficit and much more like a carefully chosen environment. As morning turns to midday, another challenge of solitude arises. When there is no one sitting across the table to impress, it becomes very easy to stop putting effort into the small details of self-care. We usually save the finest china, the most elaborate recipes, and our best behavior for guests. Because he believed every meal deserved respect, he spends an hour quietly repairing a small broken clock. This simple act of maintenance keeps him anchored to the present reality. Fulfillment here comes from deepening his relationship with the world he already inhabits. In the evening, the house grows still. He turns on a single lamp and writes one sentence in his journal to capture the day's simplicity. Elias has lived through deep love and the kind of loss that makes the air feel heavy. He knows exactly what it means to miss someone. He continues to live his life fully, recognizing that his own days still carry weight and meaning, even after those he loved are gone. Every evening, he sits beneath the stars with a warm cup of tea, simply observing the world and acknowledging that he is still a part of it. A meaningful life is quantified by the depth of attention paid to the moments you are given. Peace may look like solitude, and happiness can sound exactly like a quiet room.